Good morning everyone, and how are you today? This is Tuesday, and this is the Diana Wright Show Live, and we thank you so much for joining us from around the world and in the United States. We hope that you had a great Monday because it seems like Monday is a problem. You know, Monday people just don't seem to want to go to work, and if in case that Monday is an issue, but then you find that by Friday you still feel bad about the job that you're in and you don't like where you are, then we're going to give you some tips today about things that you can do about that and things that you should be doing about that, as a matter of fact. But first, I want to just point out something. Did you know that rejected people are dangerous? Because they're sitting in the seat of the scornful. Yeah, I talk a lot about malice and jealousy and envy and hate and all those things. But if you reject someone, that person is normally planning to get you. Rejected people are dangerous. So said T.D. Jakes. Because he said that if you reject someone, they'll come back to try to destroy you. If it's a lover, they will destroy you. If it's a co-worker, they will destroy you. If it's someone you fired. And he just went on and on and on. And I thought, wow, rejected people are dangerous. And as I say, a special hello and shout out to my fans in China. Who knew? Hi Monique, and how are you today? And those in Africa, blessings to you too. Jamaica and all over the world that are watching the Diana Wright Show, we thank you so much for doing so. I just want to remind you that we do this Monday through Friday from 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I'm getting a lot of questions about that. Eastern Standard Time, 10:30 to 11:30. We're starting a little late this morning because there was some things going on. But just to let you know that it is important for each and every one of you listening to my voice to truly love who you are, move away from hate, move away from malice, move away from vengeance, move away from jealousy, move away from envy, because it is dangerous. And now we have to deal with rejected people. So if you reject someone from your life, male or female, then you gotta have some serious problems going on. Because they are normally not loving who they are, because they're feeling rejected, so they're gonna come back to get you. How so, you might ask? And did you also know that the major reason for men to not be happy when they get older and healthy is if they drink and they smoke? Who knew? Wow. That one I'm going to have to give you in more detail. Okay? But we're going to start off this morning by just wondering, what are the Republicans like Senator Ted Cruz, Senator Mike Lee, Mr. Cantor from Congress, Paul Ryan, Speaker Boehner, and I can just go on and on. Well, we see that the senator from Mr. Cornyn from Texas, he's like, okay, they fixed the website, so we'll just find something else. But isn't that the way life is, even in your personal life? If people can't get you to do what they want you to do or what they perceive that you should be doing, they'll find a way to criticize you anyway. Oh yeah. So what are the Republicans going to do when they're Affordable Care Act website is working from the federal level, I'm talking about now, is working at 100%, and they have lots and lots of people signing up and getting their insurance, and all the people that they were talking about who lost their policies and got cancellation notices from their insurance companies, what are they going to do when those people go online to the federal website and get a policy that's actually better than the one they had before and maybe cheaper? I wonder what's going to happen. And wouldn't you want to be a congressperson today? Because you only get to work 6 days in December. So I'm planning to only work 13 days or 12 days. So I'm doing a little better than they are. Because, you just got obligations and things to do and things to take care of. Yeah. So what are we paying Congress their salary of $174,000 to do? This Congress has only passed 55 laws, lower and lower than anything in history. Their rating is 9%. Can you imagine if the president's approval rating was 9%? We would definitely want to get rid of him immediately, I think. Especially if it's Barack Hussein Obama, I think. And I wonder why those people in Thailand are trying to get rid of their female leader. So how do we get rid of Congress? Or how do we get them to do stuff that they're supposed to be doing, that they're being paid to do? And some of them don't even need the salary because they're already wealthy. So they cannot even perceive or conceive or think of or relate to poor people like us, middle class people like us. Well, the middle class for me is non-existent because I just think it's just rich and poor. That's it. Boom. Nothing else in between. And remember yesterday I talked about complaining. We should stop complaining and consider ourselves blessed every single day that we wake up, we're breathing, we're standing like this instead of like that. And indeed, we need to consider the fact that when we die, we all, no matter how wealthy we are, no matter how important we are, we get the same amount of real estate in the earth. And you see, the Pope pointed out something that I thought was quite important, that when the stock market goes down 2 points or so, it gets massive coverage. But if an old lady dies from hunger, or lacking health insurance or health care, no one talks about that. And it's the same thing when a celebrity dies. Oh, the celebrity and their families are, brought on CNN and talked about and everything, but the other people, it's just their names that are mentioned. Why do we do this? Is one life more important than the other life? Is one life should be more cherished than the other life because that person just happens to be poor? So my question to you is, it's not my fault that I'm not a celebrity. It's not my fault that I don't have an aunt who's famous or a dad who's famous that can make me famous also, and I can, get the benefits of nepotism. It's not my fault that I'm black. So I ask Americans today, is it my fault that I cannot achieve the success that I want to achieve because I'm not a celebrity and I don't have a famous parent or relative to take me there, to give me the break I need? So my question to you today, Americans, and all the people around the world that are watching or might just happen upon this on YouTube? How can you help me achieve the success that I want to achieve in this country? What would be your contribution to me, and how would you help me to get that break that I need? To get my Deadly Negligence book to get through the rubble. What can you do, or what are you willing to do for me, Americans? As a fellow American who truly wants to succeed, tries very hard to succeed, is not worthless, but you just can't get a break. How can you help? What can you do to help me succeed in this, the United States of America? It's not my fault that I'm not a celebrity. It's not my fault that I'm black. It's just not my fault. So on my journey to success in the United States of America, I ask you to help me and show me the hookup, whatever it is that you think I need to get there, despite the fact that I'm not a celebrity and I'm not from a famous family, so I can benefit from nepotism. How can you help? Remember, it's better to light a candle than sit and complain about the dark. This is the Diana Wright Show Live. We thank you for joining us this morning, and we thank you so much for sharing with us, for listening, for passing on the word, for letting someone else know that loving themselves is actually very, very important. Because when you love yourself, all the hurdles and the tragedy and the devastation that might hit you in your life, you are able to look beyond and see the light at the end of the tunnel, especially if you have faith and you believe and you trust in the Almighty One. That is God or Jesus or whomever it is to you, because we need not kill each other's religion, because it's not about religion. Are we all kind of trying to do the same thing in terms of our worship? Yeah, we call them different names. And they're parts of each and every religion that if we put them all together, it will make one good one. So as we take our journey today on this show, I ask you, what can you do for me? How can you help me? Despite the fact that I don't look like you, how can you help me? How can you garner my success? I'll wait for you to call. I'll wait for you to Facebook me or text me or tweet me or whatever. Just let me know. It would be a wonderful, wonderful thing. I'm not on to be begging money like some people beg money to pay their bills. I just want to succeed by doing hard work and doing the things that I want to do. And I know that one of you out there can get me to the next level. So yes, let us not blame people because they're poor. Not all poor people are worthless. There are poor people out there who are talented, who want to succeed, but the things are just stacked up against them. Because, again, they don't have a friend who is famous or a relative, or they don't have the hookup that they need. So please, let us stop beating up on poor people because we think they don't make millions like we do, or we think they don't, try like we have tried. A lot of the people who are famous, if you check and have great jobs. They know someone who knows someone, or their family member. Yeah, there are a few people who just got it on their own, but if you even go back to look, it took a man to believe in the talent of Oprah Winfrey to make her who she is. It was indeed a white man. So please, let us stop the hating on poor people. It is not good for their ego. It's not good for their sensibility. It's not good for them, period. For us to be down on them every day. They're worthless. They shouldn't get this. They shouldn't get that. Why shouldn't they be helped by the government just to go through a patch of hardship? Does Congress really understand what Main Street people are going through, the struggles that we face? Now, if a politician takes their child to the hospital, like I did, with all their senses, and they left without any in a wheelchair, I'm sure that would be all over the news. And the book they wrote about it would be, a bestseller instantaneously. So why is it that ordinary people like me, or like us, can't get through the clutter of the media? And that's my big question for America and the world today. Why? And how can you help? So as I welcome you to the Diana Wright Show, live online every day, Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 11:30. I just want to say thank you for joining me today, and hope that something I say will move someone, help someone, lift someone up, and help them to get rid of the stinking thinking that they have in their brain, and try to be a better person each and every day. When you wake up and you're not dead, you're blessed. We'll take a break and come back in just a moment. This is the Diana Wright Show Live, and we thank you once again for joining us. It is Tuesday on the Diana Wright Show. Hello everyone, this is a season of giving. Asking you to consider one of your Deadly Negligence, written by yours truly, Diana Wright. A story that will give you hope, make you mad, shock you sometimes, but is bound to increase your faith and make you believe in miracles again. So please, give Deadly Negligence as a gift.
I am to do this. Thank you, person, to give a gift of the book Deadly Negligence. It's available on Amazon.com and on my website dianawrighttv.webs.com. Thank you so much for my viewers around the world and in the United States. Be blessed. Okay, we're back, and this is the Diana Wright Show Live. We thank you so much for joining us from around the world and in the United States. And we're going to ask you about your Social Security number. Have you thought about how that comes about, or how it came about? Did you know that your Social Security number held clues to your roots? Yeah, I know. One time you could tell who came in New York, who came in Boston, who came in where in Los Angeles by the first parts of their Social Security number. So someone decided to break it down. The first three numbers were code for where a card holder was born, sign up, or where they came in. So the middle digit, a group of numbers, which could be odd or even numbers. And then the last four numbers sequentially based on the order of the group numbers. But recently,
Since 2011, do you know that all new card numbers are randomly assigned? And that was done basically to help with identity theft. So you want to tell me that because the previous cards were kind of coded about where you came in and whatever, they could actually steal your identity easier? Wow. So all you need to worry about right now is, will there be enough money for you to have when you retire for Social Security? Because, you know, if you listen to Paul Ryan and the Republicans, you would think that there's no money in Social Security. Even though we pay into the system, they're calling it an entitlement. You pay into Medicare, you pay into Social Security if you ever worked in the United States of America. So let them not let you think that you're getting a handout, because it's not a handout, you contributed. And that's a contract you have with the government, that you pay into Social Security, you pay into Medicare, and when you get old, then you can reap some of the benefits. Is anything wrong with that? I just want to think about that for a minute. So you pay into something, you get something back. Why are the Republicans, especially Paul Ryan, trying to make me think that I don't deserve that? I'm a smoocher. I wonder why. Maybe because Congressman Ryan is wealthy, and he can't just imagine why everybody's not as successful as he is. But the 13th is coming close, when the budget negotiations that they've been working on since the government shut down, and Mr. Paul Ryan is part of that team. I wonder what's going to happen. Sequestration, cutting of SNAP, raging against poor people. I wonder what will take place in that budget. And don't get too relaxed. January and February is right around the corner, when we could have another government shut down. Maybe, maybe not. Or do you think that Senator Ted Cruz and his friends are wiser, because they realize that shutting down the government did not gain them any points, and then pretending like they didn't shut the government down after all the people are complaining and trying to blame it on someone else didn't work either. Trying to repeal Obamacare over and over and over again is not really working, because you see, people have kind of amnesia, short memories in America. They won't remember in March that the website didn't work in October. Once they're on there and they're getting their health care insurance for less, or they're getting better coverage instead of crappy junk policies, and young people will wait for the last minute to sign up, what will be talked about? How about some infrastructure? Because, you know, I think looking at that accident in the Bronx, maybe, just maybe, it needed a little more maintenance. How about those trains and those tracks? Would that be part of the infrastructure, you think? Lots and lots of laws, Pentagon bill, Farm bill, Water bill, all these bills that are normally easy squeezes in Congress, they're just not happening. So I do wonder, for the 6 days that Congress is supposed to be working in December, how many things can they push through? I told Elder Seaton that I don't think immigration was going to make it. And despite the fact that the Hispanic community is working so hard, including a hunger strike that they have going on in Washington, visited by the president, I think on Friday. I wonder if Speaker Boehner is even looking or caring or wondering why he doesn't put these things for a vote. Aren't you just curious about how your Congress is supposed to work? Are you just curious about the fact that all they do? I think Speaker Boehner actually says they're there to repeal things. Is that so? I thought Congress is the one that make the laws when I studied American history. Maybe things have changed since I went to school, or even since last year when my daughter was studying history. I'm just wondering. And my curiosity piques at the fact that our Speaker Boehner could say something like that. And Mr. Cornyn can tweet out that, yeah, they fixed the website, but there's going to be something else. Wow. Obsession, hate, rejected people can be dangerous. Thank you, Bishop T.D. Jakes, for that reminder. Because we all know it, but sometimes we need to be reminded of it. So we want to thank Mr. Dan Kaplinger, of course, from Motley Foil Investment. He's a guru, you see, and it's fool.com is the name of the website. So, thank you for keeping us aware of what our Social Security number actually means. Okay. Communication problems is the most common factor that leads to divorce. Are you aware of that? Communication problems. A lot of men in marriages and relationships do not like to speak. They do not like to tell you what's in their heart. You will say to them, what are your plans? Or what do you hope for in life? What are your dreams? They will say, well, nothing, just being happy. What the hell does that mean? Just being happy. Happiness is relative, and means different things for different people. So, that got 65%. Then, inability to resolve conflict got only 43%. That was shocking for me. 70% of men, though, blame nagging, complaining spouses for problems. Okay? So that is 70% of men say nagging, complaining wives are an issue. And that will lead to divorce. 70% of men are being nagged by their wives. 70% of men are having complaining wives. Okay. Wow. Spouses not expressing sufficient appreciation. 63% said that. 83% of women cite a lack of validation for their feelings and opinions. 83% of women are not being validated by their spouse or appreciated for their opinion. Who knew? I did. But ladies, you are treated the way you allow men to treat you. That is my philosophy. So if you're not appreciating the way they're treating you, you need to change and fix that. Don't depend on the guy, your husband, to fix it. He's not. He's not the one that's being affected. You are. So, spouses not listening or talking about themselves or himself, too much. That's 58% of women who said that about guys. Okay. They don't listen. Guys, are you listening or you're not listening? Why aren't you listening to your spouse, your wife, your significant other? So the biggest factor, though, that parents divorce for or stay married for, what do you think that is? Most people stay with their spouse because of their children. And I don't think that's a good thing. And the experts don't think it's a good thing either. So if you're staying married because of your children, waiting for them to become adults, and in the meantime they see you fighting and cussing and want to kill each other every day of life, it's better for you to go your separate ways. That's what the experts say, and that's what I believe too. I think so. Yes, everybody fights and everybody has arguments. There's no marriage without argument, and if anyone tells you that they had no arguments, they lied. Yeah, I heard a few people who are married for 50 years say that. Maybe they just don't remember. I think so. So, that's my challenge for you today. Are you going to try to communicate better in your marriage to make it better? Are you going to listen more? Are you going to be more mindful of my feelings and my opinions? And ladies, are you going to just stop nagging and complaining about your husband? Because you know, sometimes when you listen to women talk about their husbands, you go, so why are they still married? Why are they still there? They talk so bad about the guy. If he committed some crime like infidelity, yes, you can talk crap about him, yes, for a while. But then after a while, you gotta either forgive him or give it up or leave. Yeah. Yeah, we know about that. So you gotta check that. So ladies, no more nagging, no more complaining, and no more festering in your heart about what you're gonna do to get back at the guy. That's not good either. And guys, don't just go out and complain to your friends about your wife all the time. That's not good either. And you know that there's some nagging husbands? Sure, there can be nagging husbands too. It's not just women who nag and complain. Men do the same. But of course, I guess women, 83%, that's a big number. So they got to focus on that big number. Okay, so we're going to improve our communication. We're going to stop nagging, stop complaining, start to love each other more, show we love more, give more, listen more, and don't stay in the marriage for your children. Because those children eventually grow up and have problems because of what they witnessed in your relationship. Think about that. Yes, please think about that. So, I started off by talking about Mondays. And I got this. I tried to edit it because it was kind of long, you know. So, I'm going to talk about that when we come back from this next break. Because if your Mondays are blue, and your Tuesdays are blue, your Wednesdays are blue, your Thursdays are blue, and your Fridays are blue, then you gotta check something. Maybe you just hate the job that you have or that you're doing. But should you just kind of hold back and check yourself? Because leaving the one you have with nothing out there, you might just not be finding another one because of this economy, and because the problem might be you. Yes, I did say it. The problem with the job might be you. Your attitude, the way you treat the patient, your co-workers, your employees, your employer. Or maybe you just want more for your career. So if you want more for your career, then you should get up and do something about it. But you shouldn't do anything to not have a job before you find another job. We're going to take a break and come back in just a slither of a moment. We'll be back. This is the Diana Wright Show Live. Hello everyone. I am just asking you from around the world and in the United States to partner with the Diana Wright Show, sponsor the Diana Wright Show, or advertise on the Diana Wright Show. To do so, please call 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Please sponsor, partner with us, and advertise with us to make the show a big hit, just like you do by liking us on Facebook and following me on Twitter. Thank you so much. Don't forget the number to call, 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Also, we invite you to invite me to be at your event as a speaker and to tell you about my new book, Deadly Negligence. And so we encourage you to partner with us right here on the Diana Wright Show. advertise with us and sponsor the Diana Wright Show. 561-228-1921. Thank you so much. Okay, we're back. This is the Diana Wright Show Live. And did you know that if you wait 3 days before Christmas, you will get a better deal than trying to kill yourself to go into the store on Black Friday, or was it Brown Thursday, Great Thursday, Thanksgiving Thursday? What is it? Yeah. And then after Christmas, definitely you'll get better sales. Because you see, they have to get rid of all that merchandise before the new season starts, and the new merchandise comes in and catches the old ones. So if you're trying to kill yourself for Black Friday and Great Thursday, no. Maybe I want to move to Maine or Massachusetts so I don't have to deal with that at all. But then there's some people who say that we shouldn't look down on the people who go and fight and try to kill themselves to get into the store on Black Friday or Thanksgiving Day, because those people are poor. I don't agree with that. Because you're poor doesn't mean that you should behave a certain way or do certain things because you're poor. It's an excuse, it's a cop-out to say that. Poverty doesn't make me want to go and be stampeded on in a store. Oh yeah, that same item that you're trying to kill yourself for today on Black Friday might be cheaper 3 days before Christmas. And so what if your kid didn't get the toy that you wanted to get them? It's not about the toy. It's about Christmas, the holidays. Celebrating with family. Being kind, giving to someone else maybe. How about that if we do that? Teaching someone else to love who they are. Being kind to someone else. Those are things that we need to be thinking about. We are just a little me kind of society. And never ever trying to help or give, it seems. And we can't just talk about rich people, because rich people will tell you they're already giving to charity. And poor people will say, I don't have enough to give. But that's not true either. You don't have to give money. It's not about the money. It's about something else sometimes. Okay, so here we go. So if you're looking for those bargains, don't give up. 3 days before Christmas, they say it's the best day. And yesterday, Monday, Cyber Monday, was the biggest Cyber Monday since Cyber Monday started in history. Yes. Lots of folks were shopping on their cell phones, their smartphones, and their computers. Are you a Cyber Monday person, shopper? Wow. So if you are indeed someone who goes to your job every day and you complain and you hate the job, you don't want to go and you don't want to get up on a Monday and you find that by Friday you're still blue and don't want to go. Here's some advice from Lauren Milligan. And she says, first, paint a clear picture of your current job or work situation. Paint it in your mind. See it. Do you love it? Do you hate it? What is it about you don't love? First, break down why you're unhappy at your job and what you can do to change the situation. Is there something about your job that you can change to make you feel better, enjoy the work more, or do a better job? And like I said before, don't ever quit your job until you've done everything you can do in your power to improve that job. And of course, you can check out Miss Lauren Mulligan, job search coach and resume writer at, what's it? ResumeDay.com. Wow. The names, we are so creative in this nation. So if you're working in a job you hate, and a lot of people I know are working in jobs that they truly hate. Often it's easier to change certain aspects of the job or add elements to the job that you love rather than trying to find a new job. The problem with just bailing on a job without trying to improve it is that the next job might not be any better. Yeah. Just like they say, if you are poor and you win millions and you have a certain mindset, the millions won't change your mindset. You're still going to have that same mindset just with some money. First of all, you have to figure out what it is that you're actually disliking. And if you're having trouble pinpointing where your unhappiness stems from, it might help to ask what role you play in the situation, because the problem might just be you. If there is an issue on your part, you don't want to bring it to the new job or let it continue in your current role. So you need to try to fix yourself. And my opinion for that is start loving you first, because you have to love yourself in order to even love a job that you're doing. Indeed, loving yourself is that big. It is that big. It is that crucial to your life, to your well-being, to love yourself first. And ask yourself a few questions, simple ones. What attracted me to this company position in the first place? Just like people getting divorced and being nasty to each other and being so cruel and mean, what attracted you to the person in the first place? Was it the guy's money? Was it his job, his Porsche, his Range Rover, his Bugatti? What is it? Is it his mind, his ambition? You thought he was going to be rich, and then he disappointed you and he's not? What is it that made you choose that company to apply for a job, and you got it, and you took it? And what is it that I'm running away from? Or is it that I'm trying to go toward a better career choice? Maybe you're in fashion and you don't really like fashion. Maybe you're in retail and you really like fashion, but you're in retail and you hate them hours that you have to stand on your feet all the time. So instead you turn around and you hate retail, but you don't really hate retail, you just don't want to be there, because that's not the life that you want for yourself or the career that you would have chosen. So people are avoiding having a conversation with an influential person within that job. And why do they feel like they couldn't talk to the person in charge? Because of fear. And I keep telling you people, you cannot live your life in fear. If you want a salary increase, you need to find a way to get that message to your employer. They can either say no or yes, or let me think about it. If they're thinking about it, then you have a possibility. If they flatly say no, then you know you gotta go if you want more money, because you're not gonna get it there. But don't leave that job until you find another job. And don't jeopardize that job to find another job either. And stop complaining. So you need to take action and make changes. If all of this is happening, what do I do now? Next, figure out which of things that you've identified are flexible, are they fixable, or able to be changed by you. Can you change all these things that you're having a problem with? Is it a long commute? Or do you just dislike your coworkers? Well, if you dislike your coworkers, don't look to your coworkers for friendship. Find friends someplace else. And if it's the work you despise, figure out what things you love to do. So if you truly hate your job, you need to search your mind and your passion. Go back to your childhood and see the things that you really like to do, despite what your mother thinks, or your father thinks, or your friends think. What is it that you, the person you love, want to do? Okay. And if you love to write, see if the company needs someone to put together articles for the company newsletter. So if you love to write, maybe you don't have to leave the job and go write books. You can write for that company. Good advice, I think. And if you're really into working out in your off hours, put together a wellness committee for the company that gets people to walk during their lunch hour and discuss fitness with your boss. Weight loss tactics with your boss. If you love classic cars, organize an outing to a car show over the weekend. That's the suggestion of Miss Milligan. She says if you bring more of the things you love into your workplace, you'll ultimately be happier at work. And that is so true. So the last thing, it's time to go. She says, find somewhere good to go to. If you've made an effort to change, but you're still miserable, you can move on with peace of mind because you know you tried to do everything in your power to make that job a better job. An exercise to use, she says, is to create your ideal job. She didn't say where, but I think you should start in your mind. Create a list of all your desirables and don't censor yourself. So if you want to be a rock star, don't kind of write that you want to be in the music industry. Just say the truth. Speak the truth. It is your truth. I want to be a rock star. And with that, I want to be famous. So don't cheat yourself. And if you're not dreaming big enough, chances are you're really not dreaming. Because you got to have big dreams to even achieve anything in this world, it seems. So dream big. I know when my daughter was young, I had a sign, a poster in her room that says, with the world map and, a young man standing underneath it, and it said, dream big. So my advice to you today is dream big. Don't care. Think about what your mother wants you to be, or your father, or your sister, or your friends, or whatever. Just what is it that's in your heart that you want out of life? And go for it. Despite anybody trying to be negative in your ear. Like some nagging friends will say, oh, you think you can really do that? Sure I can. I always can. And if there's anything in your mind that you conceive and you can imagine it, you can have it. How about that? How about that big thought for today? Dream big and you will achieve big. People who think small just get small results. That's my opinion anyway. Okay, even if you start to hear that voice, even if you start to hear that voice in your head that says, you can't have that, you never know. So if that voice in your head is telling you you can't have the dream that you want, kick it to the curb and let it know that you're not listening. Because no matter what you try to do in life, it's like people will say, oh, is anybody watching your show? Yeah, there are people watching my show. They might not be calling, and I don't necessarily want them to call. I'd like them to call and ask a question maybe when I have a guest. Or I'd like them to Facebook me and ask me a question, which they do sometimes. But it's not my intention to think that no one is watching. I believe millions are watching. And then there are millions more going to watch after the live show, catching up on all the videos. So if you believe it, it will happen. Of course, you have to pray and you have to trust God and you have to have some faith. And you have to know and believe in Mark 11, verse 23 on, have faith in God. And you got to pray without doubt. Because if you doubt your dreams, then they will not happen. I visualize all the things that I see will happen in my life. Yes, I do. Sometimes it takes a long time, and sometimes God just gives it to you in an instant. So yes, indeed, you can have your dreams. You just gotta get rid of the negative thoughts and the negative people around you who will tell you secret nothings that you don't want to hear. So, what we're going to do now, we're going to take another break, and we're going to come back in just a moment. This is the Diana Wright Show Live. Back in a moment. Remember, April 30th, 2014 is International I Love Me Day. I want you to start thinking about what will you do special for you on that day. Share it with me on Facebook and Twitter. And join the conversation on the Diana Wright Show, Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. We are live. The number to call, 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Join the conversation. Like us on Facebook. And follow me on Twitter. Okay, we are back and we are live, and we are going to talk about health right now. Called the Complete Blood Count Risk Score, or CBC, it's being used routinely by physicians for years to get an overall picture of your health. Did you know that there was something called a CBC? And now a new study shows that an often overlooked measure of that test can accurately predict whether you will succumb to cardiovascular disease. Imagine that, a blood test called CBC. Researchers from Intermountain Medical Center in Murray, Utah, and Harvard's Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston followed more than 17,000 men and women for 5 years as part of a larger clinical trial involving a cholesterol-lowering drug. And as I get to that cholesterol thing, ladies and gentlemen, if you have high cholesterol, just stop eating meat and all the fatty foods that you eat, get rid of the dairy, and go do some exercise. Half an hour a day will get you there. Stop depending so much on all this medication to keep you well. Please do something for yourself. So they discovered that participants with high levels of measure called red cell distribution width meaning W-I-D-T-H, not W-I-T-H, RDW, were twice as likely to die compared to those with low RDW levels. Don't go another day, they say, without learning these 10 commandments of cholesterol control. Well, I just gave you some of them that I think is crucial. Get rid of the meat, get rid of the fats. Not the fats that you naturally get from fish and all that. I'm talking about the excess fat that you do consume. Some of us do. We eat pork and we like to eat that fatty part. Why do you need to eat that? Okay? So just think about that. Normally, doctors only look at RDW counts when trying to pinpoint very specific diseases like certain types of anemia. But it has turned out to be one of the most predictive factors of cardiovascular events and mortality. CBC? Ooh. Peer reviewers actually thought it was too good to be true. They actually thought that this was too good to be true because the CBC had been around for how long? 15 years, and they're just finding out that it can tell them about our cardiovascular problems, diseases, and our mortality, how long we're going to live with the disease that we have. Imagine that. So I'm sure when you go to the doctor next time, you're going to say, "Doc, How is my CBC score there? Let me hear it, because I also want to know about my RDW. Think about it. Do you want to know anyway? Or you just want to go through life doing things and just, be happy? It's good to be happy, and I want you to be happy. But should you also know what you're up against so you can actually live and enjoy each day and each moment of your life? I'm not so sure which avenue I'd like to take. How about you? So, if you are Jamaican, you are very happy today because you've been doing this a long time. Essential to jerk seasoning, allspice is known for flavoring Jamaican and other cuisines around the world with a blend of cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, and pepper. But, according to a new study by Miller School researchers, the aromatic spice could be known one day for impeding the growth of, or maybe even preventing, guess what? Prostate cancer, the number 2 cancer killer of men in the United States. So, gentlemen, you need to be eating a little more allspice in your food. Yes, those little round black things that they crush up and make into allspice, it's good for you. When I make my red pea soup or gungo pea soup, I normally put those things in there. And sometimes I just eat it. But I never thought that it was so good for guys. Yes, guys, it can actually prevent prostate cancer, the number 2 killer in the United States in men. Who knew that a little season could be so powerful? So, get on your jerk seasoning. Throw in them cinnamon and them cloves and them nutmeg and them scotch bonnet peppers. It's good for you guys. So, in the study published online in the Oxford Journals, carcinogenesis and led by Bal El Lokeshwar. That's an unusual name. Lokeshwar, and he's a PhD. Thank you very much. Professor of Urology and Radiation Oncology and co-director of research in the Department of Urology. What a title. Woo, guy. Researchers demonstrated that erisifolin, have you ever heard of that? It's a complex compound in the allspice berry. Let me spell that for you so you can write it down. ericifolin, erisifolin. It's a complex compound in the allspice berry. Significantly slows the growth of prostate cancer tumors by suppressing the androgen receptor, or AR as it's called. A molecule central to the growth of metastasis of prostate cancer. AR enables prostate cancer cells to survive even after hormone therapy, which along with surgery and radiation is a standard treatment for prostate cancer. A lot of these guys, they die too. Androgen receptor, or AR for short, is the principal drug target for the treatment of prostate cancer, but there is no drug that completely eliminates it. AR. This complex AR in allspice seems to do just that. It actually cures the disease, because most your medications, just kind of suppress the thing. It's not curing anything. But here we are, allspice. The most interesting data shows that it actually kills tumor cells with the very specific prostate cancer marker, the androgen receptor. So it actually goes to the AR and kills it. That is not to say that people should start eating allspice. Okay, now, why did you do that? That does not say you should start eating allspice with every meal, but there exists the potential that the slow and steady consumption of this chemo dietary agent, do you hear what they're calling allspice? The chemo dietary agent may slow or even prevent prostate cancer. Okay, I can see a lot of men rushing to get them some allspice extract. Yeah, it can actually prevent it from happening. I think that's wonderful news, and that's such an easy thing to get. Allspice, it's easy to find in the store. No problem. Okay. Wow. We have some more news here, but we're going to take another break and come back to you in just a moment. Haha. Wow. That's interesting. Allspice. Can you imagine that? Allspice. Back in a moment. Remember, April 30th, 2014 is International I Love Me Day. I want you to start thinking about what will you do special for you on that day. Share it with me on Facebook and Twitter, and join the conversation on the Diana Wright Show, Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. We are live. The number to call, 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921. Join the conversation. Like us on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. Hello everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, how rich you are, how poor you are. But there has to be a point in your life, and you will come to that point, where you have to take someone you love to the hospital. But have you ever considered that you could take that loved one, in my case, my only child, to the hospital in a normal state, and then you leave 5 months later, brain damaged, in a wheelchair, without your senses? This is my true story, Deadly Negligence, the book, available on Amazon and at my website, dianawrighttv.webs.com. I'm asking you today to get a copy. Support my story. Let us get this out there, because this story will captivate you. It will shock you. It will give you hope. It will increase your faith and make you believe in miracles again. Thank you for picking up your copy today. And just in case you know Oprah Winfrey or Tyler Perry or Mr. Levinson, let them know this is worth a movie. Thank you. Get your copy today. Okay, we're back and in the final moments of the Diana Wright Show, and we thank you so much for joining us from around the world and in the United States. Just asking you today, if you want your child to have the best education, you have to go to Finland or South Korea or Poland. Yeah, those are the people that are really getting their students to excel on those tests. And if you're in Finland, you don't get that much homework anyway, but there's no sports in your school. So you got to be just focused on education, on schoolwork. No sports in the schools in Finland. Imagine that. Wow. Well, anyway, we're going to have to run out of here right now, but if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours. If it doesn't, it was never yours. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I do look forward to seeing you tomorrow. It's Wednesday, so it's Wellness Wednesday with America's leading wellness coach. His name is Dax Dunn. He will join me for Wellness Wednesday. So he's ALWC. America's leading wellness coach. Mr. Dax Dunn will join me tomorrow inside the Diana Wright Show. And I just want you to consider loving yourself. Just for today. Do it for me. Look in that mirror and say the 3 magic words. I love me. And if I love me, I can embrace everything that comes my way, whether it's bad or it's good. And I am going to pursue my passion as long as I can. I'm going to do the best to make that job that I'm on the best job it can be. And if I can't and I'm still miserable, I'm going to do something about it and stop complaining. And if I'm married, I'm going to start listening to my spouse, speaking more, communicating more, nagging less, complaining less, listening more, and just doing the best I can. Thank you. Have a blessed day. And I hope that whatever your pursuit is in life, it will bring you love, joy, happiness, and peace.